What's good? What's going on? I hope your day is going well. I am Mental Coach Kev, formerly known as K.E.V. Used to have a recording studio, so a lot of people know me from that experience here in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it was 20 plus years that I did that. But now, hey, I'm doing content creation and digital products and whatever the spirit moves me now. But I want to talk about my manifestation story. So this is what it's about here. I don't know if you understand or ever heard about the law of attraction or manifestation, which is basically putting your mind in a positive way in expectation of something that you desire to have, and then actually seeing that thing manifest itself into your experience. And it's like magic sometimes. So it's been a lot of things that I've manifested, and I will tell some of the other stories here on the channel and my other social media channels or platforms or whatever you call it. But I manifested the car that I have now. The last studio that I had, my relationship with my wife, my son, my daughter. My first kid, I wanted to be a daughter. Second kid, I wanted to be a son that was already of age that I can have a, sort of man, a young man conversation with and help bring him up the rest of the way. But anyway, enough of that. The story that I want to talk about is a particular experience that I had with my cousin. He goes by the name of Ouija, and I think he didn't really want to put this story out here for whatever reason he had, but here it is anyway. So we had this experience where I went to go see him when he came in town, and he had mentioned, he said, hey, because you want to do a manifestation exercise. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to do something maybe out in nature? Because they say that nature can't be manipulated. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do something in nature. So he asked me, he's like, hey, what do you want to do? Something with, a bird or something possibly? And I was like, yeah, let's do something with a bird. He's like, what color bird? And I was like, hey, which ones are less or least common or whatever? He said he don't know. So I just said what my favorite color was, which was blue. I said, I want to be a bird, with some blue in it, And he said, okay, cool. So he's like, what you want the bird to do? So we were standing outside in front of his mom's house. I'm going to pull up this picture here. Hopefully you can see this well. Yeah, so you see that. So we got that view over there of looking over to his next door neighbor's yard. And that particular red truck right there was over parked in the grass in the next door neighbor's yard over there, as you can see. So I told him, okay, I said, hey, I want the bird to fly up on the truck, go on top of the roof, and then walk around, come towards and look at us, and chirp at us if it wants to, and then fly off. So he was like, okay, cuz let's focus on that then. I'm like, okay, so what do we do next? He's like, okay, hey, we just, we focus on it happening, the feeling of it happening, seeing it happen in our mind. We just kind of stop what we're doing and just focus on that solely. So my cousin, hey, he joke a lot. So he, kind of joking throughout our experience, and we was there. He actually was, doing this little smoke thing that he was doing. So he went and rolled a couple of blunts and was talking to me on the porch as we actually, after we had our big focus moment. So I will say this, in my mind, I was thinking like, hey, I would like for the bird to actually jump up on a little antenna thing that's on top of the truck. It's like a little black antenna thing that's on top of the truck. I'm like, it'd be cool if the bird hopped up on that before it left and then flew away. But I didn't want to mention it to him because I felt like, okay, it might make this manifestation too hard to actually happen or create, because we are already thinking about, having something happen in nature, which kind of could seem impossible. Okay, hopefully I don't make this story too long. But anyway, so after we did some focus on it, he went, rolled a couple blunts, smoked, did his thing. He was talking to me outside as he was on the porch, actually looking at the side of my face as he was actually talking. And my cousin, he said he can talk a mile a minute. I know he might see this, but he talks a mile a minute. So he's just sitting talking about random things. Me, I'm sitting there focusing because I'm thinking like, hey, this has to happen. I want to see this happen so I can know actually what's possible more in my life. Now I had a lot of manifestation things happen, which I mentioned to him. Hey, the car that's parked on the street over there, I manifested that. I'm telling them that I'm confident in my abilities, but we all at times need to kind of strengthen things or kind of question things. So me, I'm thinking like, man, I really want this to happen. I didn't want to look like I didn't believe that it was going to happen to him. So I'm there focusing. As he's talking, I'm still kind of focusing on things happening. And he said something strange like, hey, cuz, this ain't really no birds in the area. And it was crazy because wasn't any birds around. Usually you might hear birds or see birds in the atmosphere somewhere. But I think it was some birds like kind of a block or so away that we saw way up in the sky, but nothing in proximity to us for some reason. So I'm there focusing. He came back outside again. And then as he's outside talking to me again, as he does, I'm looking over at the truck. I'm like, hey, this really has to happen. I want this to happen. I believe it can happen. I really want to see it. And then I saw the bush that was in front of us kind of moving. Let's see. This little bush right here. So my cousin was over on the porch over there, if you can kind of see my finger. But that bush started kind of moving a little bit. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, little buddy, is that you? Is that you, little bird, buddy? And before you know it, the bird went and flew on a little tail of the back part of the bed. I mean, the bed of the truck, whatever you call it, the little bumper in the back of the truck. Well, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the bird flew on that area. And then my cousin, he still was talking. He's not paying attention. So I pointed over towards the truck. And he was like, cuz, with the little blunt in his mouth, okay, cuz, he about to do it? And I was like, yeah, I think he is. So then my cousin came and stood by me. And now we just in this moment of just seeing what's going to happen next. So the bird ended up jumping on a little side rail or whatever you would call it of the truck. Forgive me, I'm not a big car or truck guy. But anyway, the little side wall of the truck bed or whatever you call it. And then the bird flew up on the top of the roof of the truck. So now I'm over here like, oh my goodness, look at what's happening here. And keep in mind, this is something that's happening in nature. So a lot of people might want to manifest things like, relationships, vehicles, money, experiences, which I've done a lot of those things. But this one right here hit a little different because, it's like, dang, can you actually manipulate nature? So the bird flew up on the top of the, whatever you call it, roof of the truck. Yeah. And then he walks around, looks at us, and then my cousin chirps at the bird. And I'm like, man, what you doing? He like, bro, I thought you said that we was going to chirp at the bird. I'm like, nah, I said that the bird can chirp at us if he wanted to. I'm thinking he messing it up. So then what happens after that? The bird jumps up on a little doggone little antenna thing up on the top of the roof of the truck and then flies off. And I'm just blown away. I took a picture as the experience was happening. And as I did that, my cousin, he manifests a lot of different things. Like he's a guy where he's like, hey, cuz I'm going to move to Florida in the next 2 weeks. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And then he get a random call from somebody and he hadn't even been looking online for places in Florida yet. But some random realtor or whatever person that was renting a home called him from Florida and was like, hey, this home is ready. You can have your keys whenever you're ready. And he's like, you had the wrong number, but entertain me. What's the address of the place? And they told them the address. It was someplace in Florida. And, long story long, he ended up moving to Florida in 2 weeks. He even had some people, I think, help him move, and some crazy stuff happened behind that. But back to this bird experience. So let me show you a picture of the bird here. So this is the bird that was on top of the truck. I know it's crazy. I'm like, man, it was blowing my mind. So I had to take a picture, and he was just like, cuz you must have not believed it was going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, I did. But, I had that little piece of doubt. I feel like that needed to be proved. But it was just crazy how the experience happened. And this is what's even more magical about it. After that bird jumped up on the little antenna-ish type of thing, this little black device, whatever you call it, vehicle people, y'all know better than me. Whatever you call this particular thing here. When the bird jumped up on that and flew off, my cousin was like, hey, that's crazy. That's what I wanted the bird to do as well. He was like, I didn't want to tell you that I wanted to add that to it because I felt like it might make it too complicated. And I was like, what? I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I wanted it to jump up on that thing too and then fly off. So somehow, in some magical way, we came into sync. We caused some sort of magical experience to happen with a particular bird. I said blue, and it looks, kind of blue to me, to do this particular experience out in nature on the truck, which is crazy. So, hey, I hope this experience helps somebody that's out here, trying to do your manifestation thing or doing your manifestation thing. I know people say trying, says you to try it implies failure, whatever the case may be. But I pray that things work out the way that you expect them to work out, that you think about the best, most positive things that you would like to have in your life, and you start thinking about them in the most grandest positive way that you can, in expectation of believing that they can happen. And I hope that you think back to this bird story and what happened with us in this particular experience. So if this can happen in nature, with something that they feel like, okay, they say can't be manipulated, so to speak, what can actually happen in your life if you put your mind to it and focus on it. Some of the stuff that I read prior in reference to manifestation and law of attraction is a book like this here, Asking is Given. This is just one of them. This is by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And actually, my first introduction to the law of attraction and manifesting things in your life was The Secret, the documentary, a movie, The Secret. It may still be on Netflix, but I will say this: they ended up taking out this particular person here, Esther Hicks, because she channels spirit, but you have to, check into that yourself. Some people's, religious backgrounds, they might feel a little spooked by some sort of spiritual things that happen. But the 2006 version of The Secret is what I watched. And that's what I still watch to this day to just kind of give me, a new boost of energy to reignite my manifestation vibes. Because, we going through this physical world of different things happening, moving us to and fro, good and bad things happening, a lot of bad things and bad hurdles we have to jump over. And sometimes that kind of pulls on us, and it could cause us to question our actual creation ability. But me, I must admit, I'm more spiritual than religious, and I just believe in the good main components of what a lot of people practice in spirituality, which is being good to others, being good. I'm not stealing, robbing, killing. I'm being helpful out in the world. I'm trying to help people how I can out in the world. I'm a hypnotherapist as well, so I do therapy. And I worked with a lot of artists in a therapeutic manner to just help them to get over things such as stage fright, writer's block, doubt, lack of confidence, a lot of that stuff, because I actually had a recording studio for 20 plus years that I just walked out on, closed the studio down, stopped the business, because I felt like Spirit of God was moving me in a different direction to, step out on faith. And I've been learning a lot about faith here recently. So I told people that, hey, I'm going to make 6 to 7 plus figures in the corner of a room. And as you see, we're in a little room here. My son, he went off to the Marines, so I got his old room over here at the crib. So I'm got this camera and everything set up, and getting the channel growing. So what they be saying, like, subscribe, whatever you call it, share, whatever the stuff that you do that helps out the channel. And I hope this information was valuable to you. Again, you might want to check out that documentary movie, The Secret, if you haven't seen it yet. I prefer and suggest the 2006 version before they took out Esther Hicks. Or you can read books such as Asking is Given, or just type in Esther Jerry Hicks or whatever, Esther Hicks, I'm sorry, or Abraham Hicks on YouTube. And type in a law of attraction or manifestation, which you probably did to actually get here. And if you were on this video, then I believe that we write off our power by writing off things as coincidence. So if you did make it on this video, you stuck with me this long, then it is for a purpose, for a reason. My suggestion would be start to think about the things that you want that you may have been doing already. Start churning yourself an idea of visualization of believing that those things actually can happen. Start seeing those things as done. Even think about what it will feel like 5 years down the line after a particular manifestation or goal was accomplished, and sit yourself in the feeling of that, of knowing that it's done, knowing that it's happened, and focus on it, just like we did on the little birdie here. But you see what happened here? I got a picture of it, and luckily I did. Luckily, I went ahead and took the picture, even though my cousin, big head cousin, was like, oh man, you must don't believe it's gonna happen or whatever. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the story. Again, I'm Mental Coach Kev. I will be posting more content, hopefully more like this, but I can do so much stuff with music, therapy, into manifestation, spirituality. So to be honest, it's kind of hard for me to focus on what to put out, but I'm just going to start trusting wherever the spirit moves me, and then just post some content. Hey, I hope you enjoy your day. Love yourself first. Love others. Do something for yourself. Have an appreciation for yourself. Think about something that you're proud of for yourself, at least one thing. And like I say, love yourself, love others. You got to put your mask on first, like they say on the flights. Put your mask on first before you try to help somebody else, because you could pass out trying to help somebody else and you didn't help yourself first. You got to pour into you first to have in yourself first to have something else to pour into somebody else. Y'all stay blessed.